Welcome, I'm Sarite Sanders, and we're going to be doing a slow flow vinyasa class today with an emphasis on using isometric muscle balancing techniques, isometric stretches called PNF, otherwise known as proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. These kinds of stretches are particularly useful in the yoga asanas or in dance stretching. They help to gain us the maximum range of motion in the shortest amount of time while stretching very safely. You can apply them seamlessly and without even being noticed within a number of different kinds of asanas and stretches. So today we're going to be needing yoga mat, a sticky mat, not a Pilates mat, a folded blanket. Whatever, a yoga blanket is great, but if you don't have one, something like that at home that you could use. 2 blocks, and once again, if you don't have blocks at home, you could even possibly use like a large telephone book, and a yoga strap. And if you don't have a yoga strap, you could even use a leather belt or some other kind of belt that has good resistance and no elastic. All right, so I would urge you, if you have an injury, not to do these PNF approaches. You can take your best aims through the asanas, hold back. Do not use PNF if you are injured on any targeted muscle that might be wounded, unless you are under the supervision of a physical therapist who generally know about that. We're going to be focusing on the things that dancers are fairly chronically tied in, which is the hamstrings, the quads, and the external rotators of the hip. So let's get started. So you can do this first exercise by sitting on a blanket, or ideally it would be helpful to get your back up against, say, a solid surface like a door, back of a chair, something that props up your back so that you don't have to worry about sitting up straight. I would really like you to be able to sit up straight. What we're going to do is focus on our turnout. So wherever you are, whether you're on, if you don't have something to be up against and you want to sit on a blanket, that's fine. And for the meantime, I'm going to stay where I am. And you're going to take your best, most comfortable, natural turnout at the moment, all right? Sitting straight up on your sit bones. And you're just going to let your legs open and see what that feels like. And no forcing, no pushing down in this exercise at all. And you're going to take yoga blocks. And once again, if you don't have yoga blocks, you can also do this with your hands wrapped around the outsides of your knees as resistance. Or you can also use blankets, ideally it would be like a rolled blanket that would give you some resistance under each knee if you don't have the blocks, but for now we'll work with the blocks. So you're going to place a block under each knee, not too high up, more towards the end of your thigh, where it's comfortable. And so from here, we're going to just take a deep inhale, and then you're going to press your knees down towards the floor. And it's fine if your turnout is better than that. We're still just about loading the muscle and working the external rotators, and just follow my instructions. So take a deep inhale, and you're going to press down as you hold that inhale for a little bit out towards the blocks, and you're going to push evenly and consistently without letting go for 10 seconds. So you're really working to try to bring your knees to the floor against solid resistance, so you're not making any movement whatsoever. Likewise, that could be against your hands, all right? So your hands could be holding your knees, and you're not trying to make any progress on your stretch or opening during that time. You're going to release at the count of 10, and then you're just going to relax and see how that feels, if it feels any more open. In other words, you're going to pick up the slack to wherever your turnout arrived. We do this in sets of 3, so we'll do that twice more. So take a deep inhale, hold, and push, and use that inhale for a little ballast initially to really press down. You're really working to try to bring your knees down against the resistance of something solid towards the floor. Continue breathing normally as you go until you arrive at the count of 10. And then just release that resistance. Let go of the blocks and see if you feel any more comfortable with that external rotation. We're going to do it one more time, and this time I'll do it with my hands. So you're going to inhale deeply and push down and hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then just gently release. And I have a feeling that probably that helped to open your inner thighs and release your turnout a little more deeply. You can do this more than 3 times, okay? But please don't ever push down from the top. This is all about engaging those external rotators and using that work against a solid resistant surface, okay? And then releasing gently into it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is continuing to open the hips. So we're going to bring one foot in, our right foot, say, right foot, your right foot is my left foot. So let's say your left foot, and bring your elbow in close, okay, wrap it around the outside of your knee, and just hold on to your foot here, wherever that feels comfortable. And once again, we're going to do that from this position. So you're going to press into your forearm with your knee, bringing your foot as high as is comfortably possible. And you're going to feel a lot of deep stretching through here. So you're not going anywhere, all right? But you're holding resistance for about 10 seconds. So I'm going to hasten this up. You're welcome to pause the video and try these stretches on your own. Okay, and then you're just going to stretch out the back of your hamstring. All right, so once again, you're going to do this 3 times, all right, on each side. So we'll say we did it there. So you pause the video and keep going, and then stretch. And time number 3. Each time you push the outer knee against your forearm, you're not letting it go anywhere, but you're engaging it like you're trying to turn that leg out more. Okay, and then just stretch. All right, so from there, we're either going to use a yoga strap, or you can also use your hand on the back of your calf. So one way to do this would be to wrap the yoga strap around your foot and pick up the slack here, okay? And then we're going to take the yoga strap to the outside of your foot and wrap it around your calf here. And you can hold that resistance a little easier by having it there if it's tight through your hamstring, okay? So what we'll do here is, to begin with, we're going to externally rotate the leg and parallel the leg, and internally rotate the leg and parallel the leg. Externally rotate, parallel, internally rotate, parallel. And then I'm going to just use my hands and take an inhale, sit up nice and tall on your sit bones, and press your calf against your hands. And once again, you're trying to move or you're loading your calf or the back of the leg, your hamstring, and trying to bring the leg towards the floor against the stationary resistance of your arms. Holding it for 10 seconds, and then just bring the leg a little closer. See how that feels. You can bend and stretch your legs a few times. Okay, try it again. Inhale and push down and hold for 10 seconds. I'm not going to take up all that time except to say that you should try this on your own and as a warm-up for both class as well as for yoga, and try it there. Okay, we're going to switch to the other side. So just bring the right foot in close to your groin, and you may notice a real difference between one side and the other. Okay, this is a warm-up for fire log pose in yoga, for pigeon. There's all kinds of things for full lotus. We need that hip opening kind of feeling. So you're going to take your forearm or your elbow and wrap it around your outer knee and bring your foot in close to your body as high as possible. Mine isn't that high. Okay, and you're going to press into that knee and resist with your forearm and your elbow and hold for 10 seconds. Okay, so I'm not going to count and go through that whole 10 seconds. You're welcome to pause this and do this on your own. So just bend and straighten a few times and bring it back in. Once again, push into your forearm, hold for 10 seconds, and then bend and straighten. Okay, I'm going to assume you're going to do that the third time, all right? And then once again, either take a yoga strap, and today I'm going to do it on the other side without the yoga strap, okay? So for the sake of our time, I'm going to take hold of the back of my calf here and start with the leg parallel, all right? And notice if you're rolling off your sit bones and hunching. You're going to try to draw your shoulders away from your ears, all right? And so let's just bend and straighten that knee a few times just to warm up the hamstring. And then you're going to externally rotate that leg parallel and internally rotate and parallel. And notice if any level of your hamstrings is tighter, either the lateral or the medial. And then come back to parallel. You're going to take a deep inhale, really take hold of the back of your leg, inhale, and press down, holding your breath initially, and then just letting your breath return to a natural breath as you continue to hold. And once again, you're not trying to bring your foot any closer to you while you are resisting here. You're just holding it totally stationary, loading that muscle, and then completely release that loading and resistance and pull it in a little closer. See how that feels. Okay, you can bend and stretch again, and try it one more time. Inhale deeply and press down into the leg, holding 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and then gently release that resistance and then pick up the slack. All right, so you do it one more time. I won't for the moment. And then we're going to come onto a folded blanket for a moment and do some side stretches. So from here, I would like you just to come to a relaxed, open lotus. All right, you don't need to come into full lotus or half lotus or anything. Just feel free through your hips. Place your hands on the floor a little bit and just rotate around your pelvis a few times. Just feel your hips opening up and go around to the other side. Just loosening up through the hip joints and your lower back and your belly. And then just come back to center. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Place your hands on either side of your side body, okay, with the palms on the floor. And you're going to start by taking an inhale deeply. And you're going to extend your right arm overhead, palm faces the floor. And you're going to slide your left arm along the mat, keeping anchored down through the right sit bone, trying not to rotate. Don't bring your elbow forward, keeping your gaze looking upwards and bringing yourself through a nice side stretch all the way down through your side seam into your sit bone, through the tips of your fingers. Good. Take a moment and just see if you have strength here. Okay? And if you need to pull back a little, that's fine, until you can actually take your hand off, draw down through the side ribs to make your body come up. Okay, cross that right arm over the left knee, and you're going to take a twist, corkscrewing around your spine, looking towards the back wall with your left hand behind your sacrum. If you want to take another deep inhale, and gently twist a little further if you have it available and you want to take a little bind, take that left hand around into the hip crease of the opposite side. Okay, so release that back arm and you're going to take it up overhead facing your knees still, and you're going to bend the elbow and bring it over your head, and you're going to stretch away from that side. Okay, holding on to the knee. And take a side bend going the other direction, and then drop your shoulder down, extend your arm, and come back up. All right, let's do the other side. So you're going to, as you slide your right hand along the mat, you're going to bring your left arm overhead and slide out and take a good side bend down, anchoring the left sit bone down into the floor, reaching out through the fingers, trying to keep your elbow and your ear in line with each other. Take a little balance here. And then from here, draw down through the side ribs to come up. And then cross your left hand over your right knee and take a nice twist right around your center. Try not to collapse here. All right. And rotate as gently, but also completely as possible. Inhale. And slowly exhale and see if you can go a little further. Good. And then release this arm here. Take that hand overhead, bend the elbow, or you can keep the arm long and just stretch away from that side and see how that feels. Go as far as you can, but keeping your chest facing your right knee. And inhale and come back up again. Then place both of your hands on the floor in front of you, and with a tall spine, you're going to slide your hands forward, keeping your sit bones anchored to the floor, and come as far forward with a flat back as you can. And when or if you can't keep your sit bones on the floor, you can just begin to drop your forearms down, your forehead down, or if you can, just keep going and keep your sit bones anchored to the floor until you take a really good stretch across the back of your pelvis, your lower back, really opening up there. And then on the next inhale, breathe deeply across the lower back. And as you exhale, scoop your belly in towards your backbone as you draw your vertebrae, stack your vertebrae one on top of the other as you come up to a tall seat. Okay? Good. Okay, so we're going to start a vinyasa flow on your mat. So we're going to begin by coming onto your hands and knees in cat-cow pose, and we're going to try a variation of that by turning your palms backwards, okay? Fingers pointing towards your knees. And we're just going to do a few like this. If this is too stressful on your wrists, please just put your hands back in the normal position. So we're going to take an inhale and look up and lengthen through the crown of your head and your tailbone. And then you're going to exhale and press your back up towards the ceiling, drop your tailbone and your crown of your head down. Inhale, look up, and exhale. And notice how that extra stretch goes through your arms there. Good. 3 times is fine. Turn your palms back so that your wrist crease is in line with the front of your mat. All right. Your arms are directly underneath your shoulders and your knees are hip width apart. Both are hip width apart. Good. So we're going to curl your toes under and come into just 2 inches off the floor, and then straighten your legs up and just into a down dog, and just begin to bicycle your heels gently towards the floor, lengthening through your sit bones as you lengthen through each heel, and melting your heart towards the mat, spiraling the eyes of your elbows towards the front of your mat so your shoulders anchor into your torso. Good. On the next inhale, raise both heels up to the ceiling. Exhale, lengthen both heels to the floor. Inhale, roll out to a plank position. From here, let's just raise your right leg off the floor and keeping your arms strong, your left foot off the floor. Good. And let's take your right elbow and shoulder up, and your left arm and shoulder up. And then just one hand to the opposite shoulder, the other shoulder. Good. And then from there, we're going to drop your knees, your chest, chin down to the floor and slide through into a low cobra. And from there, release your toes, press your elbows down, elbows against the body. Lift arms and legs off together for a second, a little back bend. Modified Shalabhasana. Place the hands and the feet down. Come back through child's pose and back up into down dog. So from here, you're going to take an inhale and extend your right leg up to the ceiling. As you exhale, step or walk that foot between your hands here. So you're going to arrive in a low lunge, lengthen through the heel, all the way through the crown of your head. Keep your hips low. Legs are parallel and hips are square. So straighten the front leg, lower your forehead towards the knee. Inhale, come forward and try to lift through the chest. And try that a couple of times. Straighten the knee and lengthen forward. And one more time, straighten the knee and come forward. Place your opposite hand on the floor. Open the chest out. Take a little twist. Keep the hips low. Good. Place the hand down. Inhale, raise that leg back up again. And place it down. Inhale, come forward. Drop your knees, chest, chin. Come forward through low cobra. Curl your toes under. Press your hips back to your heels and bring yourself back into down dog. Nice deep breaths here. Take a few deep breaths on an inhale. Raise your other leg up towards the ceiling in a 3-legged dog. Keep your shoulders square. Don't open up like that, okay? And exhale and step that foot between your feet here and come into a low lunge with the heel off and keep your neck long, shoulders, everything is square. Inhale, exhale, straighten that front knee and take a good stretch. Inhale, come into a bent knee, lengthen. Exhale as you come forward. Inhale, bend the knee. See if you can lift your chest. And one more time. And come forward. Place this hand on the floor. Rotate your chest in towards the same knee as is forward. Place the hand down. On an inhale, raise that leg back up into a 3-legged dog. Hips, shoulder square rather. Place the foot down. Good. Take a few breaths in down dog. On your next inhale, you're going to raise that right leg up again. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring your elbow forward into a 3
legged plank. Inhale, leg up, cross the body, knee to the opposite elbow. Inhale, raise it back up, and exhale. Place that foot down, grab a block, and drop your knee into Anjaneyasana. Use both blocks, actually, to come up, lengthening through the crown of your head here. If you wish, you can bring your arms up and take a little back bend if that's available to you. Place your hands down, okay? From there, you're going to place your same hand as leg is back on the mat here, and reach around with the other hand and grab hold of your foot. And staying as low as possible here, you're going to stretch, drawing your foot towards your knee. And release that. And come forward. And forward. And back. And come forward. Really anchoring this elbow around, opening that leg, or that arm rather, and place that hand down. Curl your back toes under, and extend the leg up, and bring it back. Inhale the other leg up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring the left leg elbow to the elbow. Inhale, cross that over your front body. And inhale, lift, and place the foot once again between your hands. Grab hold of your blocks and use this to center yourself here. And from here, press into your front leg to lift up into Anjaneyasana. Take a little back bend if you can. And place your hands down. From here, remove the block, and let's take the block alongside of you more. Lift the arm up and take a little stretch across the body. Place the hand down. Good, and straighten the front knee. And come forward, keeping the hips square, stretching through the groin. And once again, straighten the front knee. And bend into that knee. Let's have you curl your toes under. Place your hands down. Inhale, lift your leg up towards the ceiling. Square your shoulders. Place the heel down, lengthen through the standing foot. Good. From here, let's roll out into a plank position. Drop your knees for a moment. We'll just do a chaturanga prep. So bring your knees a little further back and your feet off the floors. Engage through your core. Try to keep one long line as you lower down and come up, and lower down and come up. Place your feet on the floor, hips back. Bend your knees, look forward, and you can either step or jump between your hands, like so. And take an inhale and fold forward over your legs. As you exhale, inhale, raise your arms up towards the ceiling into Urdhva Hastasana, and bring your hands between your heart. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of rounds of Surya Namaskar, salutation to the sun. You're going to come to the front of your mat. You're going to have your feet approximately hip distance apart. Lengthen through the tailbone, feel it drop down, draw up through the pubic bone. Lengthen through the crown of your head like your spine was a string of pearls, okay? So on an inhale, we're into Dasana, standing mountain pose. You're going to inhale, raise your arms up overhead into Urdhva Hastasana. Lift out of your hips into a little backbone, and as you exhale, you're going to swan dive your arms open and fingers in line with the toes as you come to Uttanasana. Okay, take a moment here Bring your weight forward so you're not sitting back in your heels, all right? You can do any version here thereof you'd like. You can fold your hands over your elbows and just drop out of your sit bones and let your upper body just hang for a few moments. You could bend and straighten your knees just to warm up your hamstrings a few times. Okay, you can place your hands on the mat behind you. Okay, so you're going to inhale and come up to Urdhva Uttanasana, or half Uttanasana, flat back. And then exhale, place your hands in line with your toes and step back into down dog. Good. So take a nice deep breath in here, inhaling deeply and exhaling slowly through a slightly constricted throat, sound of a whisper as you lengthen on the exhale. Inhale deeply, exhale, 3 deep breaths, and lengthening those heels towards the floor as you reach your sit bones up towards the ceiling, melting your heart. Okay, so you're going to inhale and roll out into a plank for position. Do any version, either chaturanga, knees, chest, chin, you like, from here. So you could do the modified chaturanga or full chaturanga here. 2 inches off the floor. Inhale, come up to the tops of your feet. Inhale, lift up through the crown of your head. Press the floor away and press your shoulders down. Scoop your belly in as you curl your toes under and come back into down dog. All right, bend your knees, look forward, and either step your feet between your hands back to Uttanasana. Inhale, look up. Ardha Uttanasana, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up into Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bring your palms in front of your heart. All right, one more round. You do whichever version you'd like. Inhale, raise up. Exhale, fold forward with a flat back at the hip crease. Bring your fingers in line with your toes and your nose towards your knees. Make sure your weight is forward so you're not back. Let's bend our knees a few times. Interlace your hands behind your back and exhale and let your arms spill out behind you. Bend your knees, come to a flat back and exhale and bend your knees and exhale. Place your hands alongside of your toes and either step or jump back, hands on the floor, into plank pose or into down dog. All right, inhale, roll forward into plank pose. Chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Roll forward. Once again, come up into a low cobra if that's your choice. Raise your legs up, raise your hands up, hold for a second, and come back through child's pose. Curl your toes under. Raise your hips up into down dog. Take a couple of breaths here. And then bend your knees, look forward, and once again, step or jump your feet between your hands, fold forward. Inhale, come up to a flat back. And one more time, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up to Urdhva Hastasana and hands between your heart. Okay, so we're going to put a block on either side of your mat now here. And we're going to step our feet about 3 feet apart, all right? And you're going to parallel your legs here. So this is going to be Prasarita Padottanasana. You're going to drop your tailbone down. So this is what it looks like from the side. You don't want to be extending through your spine. You want to drop your tailbone down. All right, and you're going to inhale, raise your shoulders up and roll them back behind you. You're going to either place your hands into your lower back, drawing your elbows back, and then lift your chest up to the ceiling and fold forward halfway with a flat back at the hip crease, and then place your hands directly in line with your toes and fold all the way forward, drawing your head towards the mat. I'm going to face you. Okay? Good. So from here, you're going to press into the outer edges of your feet and really take a few moments. Keep your weight forward once again in the front of your foot or all four corners of your feet. And if you want, you can walk your hands between your legs and take a deeper stretch here, or not if you want. If you want to bring your arms forward, you can come forward into sort of a modified down dog. But in any event, let's all raise up again now from here. Halfway, place your hands on your hips, draw your tailbone down, and come up in one piece. All right? So from here, we're going to pivot your left leg forward, and you're going to have your front heel in line with your back in step. So make sure that that's going on, and I'd like you to internally rotate your back leg inwards rather than having it turned outwards, so you have a point of stability here. So you're going to raise your arms to the side and take a deep inhale, and you're going to exhale and come into warrior two, dropping the tailbone down, lengthening, bringing that front knee over the ankle and not hyper bending, okay? And then inhale and straighten that leg, pressing down into both legs as you take the arm overhead and slide the back arm down the thigh. Inhale, come back up. From here, we're going to bend into the front knee again. Place your elbow across your forearm. Take the upper arm overhead and across your ear, and try to lower yourself into Parsvottanasana. Okay, or Utthita Parsvottanasana. Inhale, come back up again. Good, and then have your block handy here. As you straighten this front leg, you're going to inhale and reach through that front arm as far as you can, keeping your body dropping through the tailbone, keeping your body flat as though it's sandwiched between two panes of glass. Reach the arm forward as far as you can until you can't get it any further, and place it on a block right underneath your shoulder, rotating that top shoulder open, looking up towards the sky. Good. Anybody here who wants a stronger variation, you can take your top arm overhead. You can take it around behind you, wrap it into the hip crease, or you can take the lower arm up and come up. I don't advise that for beginners, okay? Good. So from here, we're going to interlace your hands, lift your heart up towards the ceiling, and come forward once again in Prasarita Padottanasana. And just let your arms drop. Good. And take a nice deep inhale, exhale, and scoop your belly in and come back up. Rotate your other foot in the other direction, inner. Rotate the back leg. Have your body in line with the side of the room, heel in line with the instep, and then from here you're going to extend both arms out shoulder height and bend into your front knee, warrior two, and hold, pressing into the outside of the back foot, pressing into your legs. Good. Inhale, come straight back up, place the back hand, let it slide down the back leg as you do reverse warrior, or reverse, that's right, reverse warrior. Inhale, come back up, bend into the front knee, place your elbow across your knee, Utthita Parsvottanasana, Take the top arm over your ear, palm faces the floor, drop down into the front knee if you can. If you want a deeper opening through that shoulder, bind that hand into the opposite hip crease. Otherwise, come back up. And then once again, bring the block alongside of your ankle. And we're going to do Trikonasana. Inhale. And exhale, reach out through your side body, keeping your tailbone long as you take that arm down and bring that top shoulder open, and try to feel like your body is sandwiched between a pane of glass, so you're not compensating here. Good. Once again, variations, variations. You can come up and bend into that front knee again and come up straight. Whoops. Good. Okay. So from here, we're going to once again go forward into another level of Prasarita. So fold forward and bring yourself down, and we'll go just stretch between your legs here into Skandasana. 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Good. And then you're going to rotate towards one side. You're going to bend into your front knee and extend your leg up to standing leg split here. You're going to bring your hands in as close as possible. Bring your nose to your knee. Good. And then from there, we're going to place the top leg behind your ankle and come on to the mat with this leg crossed over. Open up your hips for a second. And then we're going to, there's several variations you can do here. You could try this variation. This is Matsyendrasana. Or you could bend that knee and make sure you're sitting on both sit bones here. So you're going to take, I guess, facing your left arm, and then as you exhale, you're going to take your arm, your elbow across your knee and use that to twist deeply, bringing this other arm in close. Make sure both sit bones are on the floor. Okay. And inhale and open, back up. And then we're going to take that leg around behind you into just a gentle pigeon pose here. So most of you probably are very tight through here, so I want you to bring your heel of your forward leg in front bring it in close to your groin. All right, curl your back toes under for a moment and parallel your back leg, and then just drop your knee. Make sure it's right behind your hip, and just gently cross your arms or reach them out in front of you and lower your front body to the floor. Just relaxing or taking a variation like this. And taking some nice deep breaths. And then gently come back. Curl your back toes under. Place your weight into your front hands. Inhale, raise that leg back up again. And place it down. Step this foot forward. Straighten the leg. Come through Prasarita. Let's go to the other side and bend into the front knee and propel yourself up to standing leg split. Whatever that looks like, okay, it doesn't have to be crazy or perfect or anything. Draw your head towards the knee. If you want to try a variation of that and you feel strong enough or stable enough, you can grab hold of the leg and balance, whichever. And then bend the knee. Place that knee on the outside of the standing foot. Draw your hips down onto the mat. Balance on both sides. So your hips are equally, your sit bones are on the mat. Just start by opening up this hip and using this arm to open through that side. And then taking this arm up in the air. As you exhale, place that elbow in front of the knee and use it as an anchor to rotate you around your spine. And try to sit up nice and tall with both sit bones on the mat. From here, if you feel open and stretched enough, you can reach between your legs and do a bind. And if not, no worries. There are other days to do this. And then extend that leg around behind you. And so once again, place your weight between both of your legs. All right, don't be on one front hip or on the other side. All right, I'd like you to just feel your weight equally between each leg. Curl the back toes under to begin with. Lift the chest up, parallel the back leg, and then drop the knee down. And then take any variation that works for you. You can bring your arms here. You can bring your arms here. And you're trying to place your weight deeply between each side. If the front hip feels really, really tight or painful, you can take a block, you can put it underneath that hip, or you can take a folded blanket and just support you there. So as you lengthen through the psoas of the other side. Okay. And so come and inhale, lift up, and exhale. As you lift the leg up in the air, place that foot down, come into a child's pose. And if child's pose doesn't feel perfect for you, you can come into Anahatasana with your sit bones up in the air. All right, your thighs going vertical. Melt your forehead towards the floor, melt your chest towards the floor. Let your spine traction out of your lower back, out of your hips. You can also fold your arms here and stay as long as you wish. Okay. So from there, and once again, I urge you to just pause the video as much as feels right to you. We're going to come onto our backs. All right. So from here, we're going to go into a bridge pose. So place your feet underneath your knees and feet hip distance apart. You're going to take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to press your feet into the floor to lift your hips up. And this time in yoga, we're going to interlace our hands underneath our bodies. Try to bring actually the whole palm together if possible. Draw your shoulder blades together. Really lift deeply through your pelvis. And hold. And keep holding. If you need something else to do, you can extend one leg and the other if you feel more advanced. And then slowly release your hands and come down and take a moment. And so from here, we're going to do either Dhanurasana, which is upward facing bow, or you can take another bridge pose, okay, Setu Bandhasana, or if you feel tired and you just need a little rest, you can take a block and place it underneath your sacrum and just relax, all right? Feel as though that block is completely supporting your lower back. Everything feels like it's relaxing. You can experiment with stretching out one leg. And then bend that knee in. Stretch out the other to get a nice stretch through your hip flexors. If you feel like you want more support, you can rotate the block so it's higher and bring your hips up higher. And you can also do a restorative pose called Viparita Karani, where your legs are they're supported on the block and they're just lifting up towards the sky. Usually we flex our feet. In yoga, you're welcome to point them or do whatever you like. Okay? So, yogi's choice, as we say. So from here, this is a perfectly fine option if you're tired. For those of you who want to go into upward facing bow, they'll take the block away. You're going to come down. You're going to place your hands, palms facing your or your fingers facing your shoulders. Take a deep inhale to prepare. Come to the top of your head, and then press up into Urdhva Dhanurasana. Make sure your legs are parallel. Feet and legs are parallel. Try to stay as lifted through your chest as possible, and take however much time as you wish. Come down, sorry. This is a good time to make sure that you've taken your buns out, all right? Otherwise, it makes for a lot of uncomfortable pressure on your head here. So, from here, I would like to just have you all draw your knees in towards your chest for a moment. Just rock your hips from side to side. And open your arms out. Take your knees over to the right, keeping both shoulder blades on the mat, looking out over the shoulder that your knees are dropping away from. So inhale, come back, and cross the legs to the other side. And inhale, come back through center. And if you would like a deeper twist, from here, actually, those of you who would like to go further as far as a real stretch, you can pause the video and we could go up into shoulder stand, which would be done basically by bringing your legs up overhead like this, placing your hands into your lower back and keeping your legs as long and high as possible, all right? So from there, you could do a variation by taking your feet to the floor and really taking a very deep stretch through your lower back, the backs of your legs. You can bend your knees, drop them around your ears. You can take your legs out to the side and then bring them back and come back up again. And then take your legs slightly forward and slowly roll down, scooping your belly in with control. Pilates control. Rolling down one vertebrae at a time through your spine. Good. Place your feet on the floor. And one final twist. So we're going to do a deeper twist here. Okay. So you're going to take your right leg over top of the thigh of the left leg and wrap it around behind your calf. You're going to take a Garuda twist. Your arms out to the side. You're going to bring your toes onto the mat. Scoot your hips a little bit further over towards the right. And then take a nice deep twist over without moving or adjusting your feet. And stay in that twist as long as feels good to you. Inhale, come back through center, unwrap your legs. Garuda or eagle twist It also can be done like that, okay? So you're crossing the top thigh, you're wrapping that foot around behind the calf, you're placing the right toes on the floor as you take your left knee over towards the floor, trying to keep your left shoulder blade on the mat. A lot of the time we get deep adjustments in our lower back from this. So try not to do any efforting here. And breathe. I just want to emphasize that wherever it felt right for you to stay in the last few asanas and spend more time is perfectly good. So some of you from here, we're just going to do a bit of a shavasana or something restorative. So once again, some of you may want to bring a block and just prop your lower back. And just let everything melt and breathe. Some of you may want to have legs up the wall. And I'm not actually, I don't think I'm visible with the camera from the wall, but I'll try. Come up to a wall, scoot your hips into the wall and bring your legs up vertical and palms open and just relax. This is a nice way for the blood to drain away from your feet and your overused legs, those poor dancer legs, and stay there as long as feels good and come out of it, or just take a couple of minutes in Shavasana, dancer's favorite pose, corpse pose, where you're laying on your back with your legs slightly apart, arms slightly away from your body, and palms up towards the ceiling. As you deeply inhale, feel your body fill up with air. As you exhale, just let everything go, just like a wave rushing back out to the ocean, taking all that stale, stagnant tiredness with it. Inhale nice and deeply. And as you exhale, just feeling your whole back body settle onto the mat, allowing your mind to be empty and spacious, giving yourself the opportunity to spend as much time here as your time allows today, knowing that you can always come back to this place. And just allowing yourself to completely let go. And when you're ready to come out of it, hug your knees into your chest. Roll over onto your right side. Push the floor away and float up. And come back into a lotus position with your hands between your heart. Let's take a moment to dedicate your practice to someone or something that really means something to you. And so, thank you for joining me in this class today. Namaste.